Hi, Chris here today. I'd like to talk about calcium and the problems of calcium. At the moment there doesn't seem to be a problem with the amount of calcium we get in our diets. It's more the absorption of calcium to where it needs to go, which are the bones. Because there can be a lot of problems caused by calcium being not absorbed into the bones and going to other areas of the body. For example, arthritis is calcium within the joint where it's not supposed to be, which we call calcification in the medical community, is known as arthritis, of course. Also, we can find it in such things like in the gallbladder, like gallstones are very hard in the nature of the stone, and that's the calcium. Kidney stones as well is getting calcium in the ureters in the kidneys where it's not supposed to be. Also heart disease, like in the coronary artery, or where you get a blockage or obstruction which causes a heart attack. Definitely cholesterol is found there, but it's usually not the reason why there's a blockage there. There's a calcium component to that too, getting dislodged within the and getting lodged within the artery. Also, getting a calcification of calcium in the brain can also cause a lot of these diseases such as dementia and Alzheimer's and so on. And so on and so on. Psoriasis, hardening of the liver, the calcification problem, again, excess calcium in the area that we don't want calcium to be in. So there doesn't seem to be an issue with the amount of calcium we're actually getting in our diet, it's absorption. And there's a few reasons for that. One part of it is the source of where we're getting our calcium from. Some of the sources that we're getting our calcium from are acidic in nature, and they don't allow absorption of that calcium into the bones, because acidity leaches calcium out of the bones, which is one of the main reasons why we get calcium in other areas of the body where we don't want it. Our body gets too acidic by lifestyle, by diet. Things such as fizzy drink and just acidic foods in general can cause that calcium to leach out into the bones and go into somewhere else in the body where it can cause a health problem. So where we can improve that and get that calcium to where it needs to be in the bones is making sure we've got enough of minerals and trace minerals such as magnesium, silica, boron, vitamin D, which is obviously a vitamin, it's really a hormone, and a number of other trace minerals. And that allows that calcium to absorb straight into the bones a lot easier. Also, magnesium deficiency is one of the biggest deficiencies in mankind, in the world at the moment. So I think the majority of people are actually getting plenty of calcium in the diet and not enough magnesium. Calcium, when we consume too much calcium and calcium's not getting absorbed into the bones, it definitely hardens everything that it gets absorbed into, and it stiffens and makes things rigid. Where on the other hand, magnesium's the complete opposite, makes you more supple, so therefore more flexible, and makes all your muscles more relaxed as well, and your smooth muscle tissue, which a lot of components of your arteries as well as your intestines are all smooth muscle tissue. As well as your heart, because your heart is the most important muscle you have. So magnesium deficiency comes about our soil. Our topsoil is very deficient in magnesium. So one of the best places really to get magnesium is taking a supplement. A good supplement I recommend is concentrated mineral drops. They're just little drops which are in an ionic form, which means they're a very bioavailable form to absorb. And you can just drop those into your water or any liquid if you're making soup or any food. And you're getting a lot of magnesium out of that supplement, as well as 72 other minerals. So you're getting all the trace minerals as well. And if we're just eating conventional diet out there, we're missing a lot of trace minerals because they're not found in the topsoil anymore. Just the way agriculture and the way we're growing crops and foods, it's really depleting that topsoil. So a mineral drop supplement like that's a really good idea, especially with this topic about absorbing that calcium to where it needs to go. Also, chocolate is a great source of magnesium as well. Obviously you want to eat the dark chocolate, which usually means there's less sugar in it and more of the chocolate in it, which we call cacao, the cacao bean. More in its raw form is even better, and it's really high in magnesium. And that magnesium calcium ratio is very important. A lot of us, too much calcium, not enough magnesium, and we're getting a lot of these diseases which come about through having too much calcium in certain areas of the body where it doesn't need to be. Another mineral that's really good with absorbing calcium and also helping to strengthen the bones is silica. We don't get silica enough as well in the diet, and silica is actually quite hard to find. Some of the top sources of silica we can get it in oats in small quantities. Also it's found in herbs such as horsetail, which is a herb that's been around since the time of the dinosaurs. So you can make a herb tea of that. But again, the best probably way to get a really concentrated dose of that silica, which a lot of us need, is through a supplement. So there's one called organo liquid silica, and so it looks like water, tastes actually like water, and they actually extract that from spring water. Because young spring water out of the ground is a great source also of silica. Silica is kind of known as the beauty mineral, and also kind of longevity or longevity mineral, because it keeps us youthful and young and keeps us supple. Another plant that's very high in silica is bamboo. And you look at bamboo, it's hard, it's really strong, but it's also pliable and bendable. It bends, and it can withstand a lot of weight and bend and actually not snap. It's strong, very strong. And that's how we want our bones to be. That's how our bones are when we're babies and young children. As we get older, our silica drops off and our calcium gets higher actually. And calcium can strengthen the bones, but bones become less pliable. So therefore, if somebody trips over, falls over, and we see this in the elderly, they may have enough calcium in their bones, but if they don't have the silica there, that bone's not going to bend with that fall, and it's not going to absorb the shock of that fall, and it's still going to snap. It doesn't matter how strong it is, it's going to snap. It's going to break. So silica, I think, is a lot more important for bones than calcium, just because that's what we originally had when we were babies and young adults. As we get older, we seem to get depleted of that because we're not getting the mineral out of our diet. So a good supplement is silica. Also, calcium. There's a lot of media out there about we needing calcium for our diet to be healthy, and so on. I think calcium is definitely important. It's an alkaline mineral that's very important, but it needs to be in balance with all the other minerals. And I think there becomes a bit of an imbalance with a lot of other minerals because there's so much emphasis on having enough calcium in our diet. So what I want people to go away from here from this video is to understand that we need to be focusing on other minerals other than calcium. Another great alkaline mineral is magnesium, which we've talked about. Very important to have that ratio right with magnesium and calcium. So for a majority of people out there, people need to not worry about the amount of calcium you're getting and start to focus more on these other minerals that are going to help get that calcium to where it needs to be, which are in the bones and not within the joints or other areas and organs of the body, which is causing disease. With my dowsing techniques and truly holistic, I detect this with a lot of clients, excess calcium in certain areas of the body where they've got pain, they've got joint issues, and they've just got a lot of illnesses which are caused because of excess calcium. I use energy obviously to remove that calcium from the area, and they feel a lot better very, very quickly and instantly in some cases. So if you'd like to make an appointment with me, go to my website at trulyholistic.net. Also check out my videos on YouTube and also my Facebook page. And if you have any questions or inquiries, just send me a question. Thanks.